With us right now, Kurt Phillip. Kurt, you're the CEO of Convertica, found on the web at convertica.org. Kurt, thank you so much for joining us. Your time, it's a Friday afternoon. Thanks so much for setting aside this time. Excited to talk about how we can improve conversions, because it's amazing how much money the average business owner is leaving on the table because they're not doing what they should be doing. They just kind of set it up there and like, okay, my copywriter said this was good. And it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing, the website and your systems and so forth. Kurt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Josh. It's I love talking about this subject. We'll talk about it for hours, but we'll try to keep it nice and concise.
Yeah, well, we got 20 minutes. Here we go. So Kurt, from a high level, go ahead and share what Convertica does.
So we're a done-for-you conversion rate optimization agency. So we work with companies. They'll come in, we'll audit their website. We'll look at areas that potentially have upside for increasing conversions, and we'll do the split testing, the development, all the creatives and everything like that from start to finish. So they just come on, they sign on, and then we increase conversions. At the end of the day, that's, it's all encompassing in terms of what our team does. So we've worked around 700 odd businesses. So we have a lot of data on what works, and we've tested a lot of different things on a lot of different sites. So we can go in there and have a pretty high success rate straight out of the gate on what's going to work. Yeah.
So, what would you say are the most common, like, low-hanging fruit that the average business has a website where you look at a website and you're like, Josh, this is what everybody does. This is what so many people are doing wrong. Here's if there were like 1, 2, or 3 things that, the average person could look at their own website and say, man, I could fix that.
And it's hard for people to see these things because they've worked on the business. They're kind of blind to these changes. So one thing that you see on a lot of big sites is when someone adds something to a cart on their e-commerce website and nothing happens. I mean, it does happen, but it's so subtle. Like, you'll see a 1 appear on the basket up in the right-hand corner. But there's nothing indicating to the user what they should do next, which you should always be doing. You should always be pushing them in the direction of the goal that you want. So whether that's on some websites, we test going straight to the cart when they add to cart. If it's a low volume site where they only, like, let's just say mattresses or something, where they only buy 1 item, we'll just push it straight to the checkout once they click add on, because the likeliness is they're just going to buy that one product. Another one is having a ton of testimonials and reviews on your product pages. Now, a lot of people have this, but they have them all the way down the bottom of the product page. So having the reviews, and you don't need a lot of reviews, even just 1 or 2, just below the add to cart button or around the add to cart button and above the fold works really well. So those are a couple of things that work really well. And on mobile, a huge one is having a buy now button that's sticky on the bottom of the screen and always visible on the site. So when you come onto a product page, you start scrolling down the site, as soon as they feel ready to purchase or they've read some of your copy, that they go, yes, this is what I need it for, or you've hit their pain point or solved their issue they're having, they can just click buy now and go straight to the cart. So those are just 3 quick things that I can think of. And the issue is a lot of people are using out of the box themes on their Shopify and WordPress site. They're not at all ever coming into contact with creative agencies or development houses that have experience in what they're doing. So it's most people that have no experience in marketing or web development doing marketing and web development these days, because it's so easy to do with Shopify and WordPress. So these are some things that we see that people do it. They grow to 7 figures a year and they don't touch anything on the website. They just, because they got so much traffic, they did so much PR, but the actual website is lacking. So that's what we do. We come in and just polish the website, I guess, to make it function better.
I love that, because I'm sure you've had the conversation with someone. You're like, well, why do you have it set up like that? And they're like, I don't know, because that's the way the theme came.
They're doing business. They're not thinking about, like, if you're not aware, you don't know what you don't know. So I enjoy that too. When you come in and you increase conversions by 50 or 100%. Yeah. And it was from something that you're like, of course, the users couldn't even purchase because of this or whatever. And you find the problems quite quickly. So
Yeah. Well, it's nice because, as you've been talking about, I'm on your website, and of course you're kind of following your own best practices. Just something as simple as, decide on, let's talk about calls to action too. Because I think that that's another thing that probably comes up quite a bit is there's just too many calls to action. And I think one that is just ridiculous that I don't think ever performs, and it's not even worth asking, is join our email list.
Where is the value in that? Like, I see it all the time when people have an exit pop up to incentivize people to join their mailing list, some ambiguous mailing list that you have no idea what it is or why you're joining it, right? So yeah, you can get people to join your mailing list, but what are they joining? They're joining your weekly CRO tip or your conversion optimization tips, and then show them what they're getting if they sign up. So we send, 3 monthly emails of case studies of successful campaigns we've run. And you seriously outline, because these people are on your site because they're interested in what you do. So you have to try and, if they're about to leave, and you can hook them in with like a lead magnet, as they call it, to try and give them something of value, because they're giving you something of value, their email, which is, quite up there with how valuable it is. You can't just expect to say, join our newsletter, which has a very low perceived value. You have to try and pump up the perception of what you're giving them so that they can opt into your email list. So.
Yeah. And I apologize. Your audio is, just for the listener. I reckon it's kind of like a little bit.
Oh no.
But I don't know if it's maybe reconnect the audio really quick, or
yeah. Sorry.
No worries. And or maybe there's an extra application that's open, and I'll let you kind of take a peek at that real quick while I ask the next question. So
okay, how's this now?
Yeah, I think that might be
okay.
better.
All right, might be a connection.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. So, so having a compelling call to action, not too many calls to action, right? I like that when I'm on your website, it's very simple, right? Claim your audit, right? And what I like about it is, and this is pretty clever, is that we start engaging right away. So I feel like it's personalized, right? So it's not like, grab this free report that everybody gets the same doggone report. It's like, okay, I guess. But, what you're saying is, we're asking questions like, so I click the button, say, great. How is your website monetized? Affiliate, lead gen, e-com, other. I click on that. How many monthly unique visitors? So this is valuable because I feel like now I'm going to get something that's very personal. Personalized report is how I feel. Yep. This is also super helpful for you because you're getting the information you need to know so that you know how to engage with this person. So this is a no-brainer, man. I need to be doing better at this. All right. Hey, for fun, I didn't prep you for this in advance. And I hope you don't mind. Could we take a look at my website really quick?
Yeah, of course.
And again, I fully acknowledge, I'll put this in the little chat window here. It's just upmyinfluence.com. And boy, this is so self-serving. But yeah, so our biggest thing is, is we really want to engage with influencers, with successful consultants. And honestly, the best way to build that relationship is we do podcast interviews. We just give a lot of value. So we don't mind there being a really long sales cycle in terms of like, we're going to invest in the relationship first. If it turns into business, cool. If it doesn't, that's okay, because there's value. We've seen value in building relationships beyond sales, because as long as you can be hyper. So anyway, I'm just kind of, kind of giving you a peek behind the kimono, like what our business strategy is. It's really just to build relationships. And so anyway, that's kind of our, what we do. But yeah, so, everything else, I've got some, some trust indicators, some authority indicators on here, but anything immediate pop. By the way, this this design is, I've got like a new design. It's already, the work's already been done. Everything's always waiting on me.
So there's a few things very, very quickly that I can see. It's not quite clear. like you're pulling the user in a few different directions when you're
Yes.
coming to this. So
I'm
you've
not
got
following my own. So
you've
to
got
everyone who's
three
listening,
different
please do
huge.
what I say, not what I do.
And I mean, it's this happens with a lot of people, right? But you have the headline offer. You then have a sidebar to be a podcast guest. You then have the YouTube video. So you have three different headlines pulling you in, and straight away, I don't know where to go. Then okay, down. Like even if you just dropped off the top section,
Yeah.
and just killed that top section,
Mhm.
it would be a lot clearer.
I think
Like,
so.
and
I
then it would
think
just
you're
be
right.
suffering from particular leads.
Yeah.
Point, offer. So there you have your pain point, your offer. Let's chat and see if it makes sense. That alone would clear up, I think, a lot of people would get confused as where to go, because then it leads into fine. So obviously there's a bunch of other stuff too, but very quickly, that's all I could say. If you want to have this landing page have more punch, I would just drop that top section from the YouTube video up, and just leave the rest. And I think this landing page would do a lot better.
I think you're right. So listen, that's awesome. And that's something I can do today. That's easy.
It's like 10-minute
section.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. So Kurt, tell me about the process. Like, what is it like when you work with folks? Is it really expensive? Is it like, who do you typically work with? What's that process like?
So we started the company with a very defined market, because I come from an SEO and affiliate background. So that was where we started. I spoke at a couple of conferences and I had some authority in a certain niche, and we started working with affiliate and lead gen websites mainly. And then we've been in business 4.5 years now. So now we work primarily with e-commerce websites, especially after COVID. So the range of different services we have depends on what they put into that lead capture that you're going through before. So what type of site do they have? How's it monetized? How much traffic do they have? And then we can fit something around that, right? So we have packages that start at $500 for website speed optimization, all the way through to $10,000 a month for huge enterprise websites that require a lot of development work, a lot of split tests, and just a lot of our team's time. We have a team of around 20. So it depends on the type of site, generally tied to the amount of revenue they do, because that's then tied to the amount of traffic and resources that they need. So yeah, it ranges from $500 all the way through to $10,000 a month, depending on the type of site. But it's usually calculated to give a very quick and clear ROI, because in this business, we did this, the increase was this. It's very easy for them to communicate that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So give me some examples of folks that you've worked with, and like kind of just tell us the case study story.
Yeah, sure. So we worked with, you might have heard of a company called FreshBooks. They're an invoicing company. Worked with them last year, and we had around an 18% increase in leads on their free sign up page, because initially you sign up for a free account, which then goes 14-day free account that goes onto a paid. So they wanted to get more people into that funnel. So we optimized mainly on mobile. So like what I was talking about before, having more call to actions that were easy to interact with and click on mobile. And that's pretty much it. It was a very simple campaign. And a lot of times it is a simple things we do. It's not overly complicated. It's just making the usability of the website better across the different devices. We work with Empire Flippers, which is a website marketplace. They're pretty large now. Lead gen website. Well, we did similar to what you were commenting on with our lead form at the top, how we had all those different questions, and we call it gamifying a form. They had a form with about 30 fields in it, and anyone hates filling that out. As soon as you see a web form that has 30 fields, you're like, oh my God, it's like an assignment. So what we did was we made it like an app. It was like a multi-step gamified app where each question was just a multiple choice, and they could just click. Instead of having to fill out how many web users they had, we'd have different options they could just click. And this had a huge increase. I think it was 60% increase in conversions for them across that. So again, it's just very simple changes, but more about like, what is the end goal and how can we get the users quicker towards those? But like, we've had 700 we've had 700 clients. I can talk about case studies for hours, but yeah, like I was saying about e-commerce websites, the cart functionality of how it like after someone clicks add to cart, what does the website do? Primarily depends on the type of website. And then having a lot of reviews, obviously, like look at our homepage, it's just full of reviews and testimonials because it's all about building credibility. In this day and age, you buy it pretty much anyone, as long as they hit a few criteria. Reviews, is their website secure? Do they have good shipping? So as long as you've displayed that very clearly that you do have all of those, then the sale is likely to go through. So
yeah. Do you know of any like tools or guides, or like, obviously, this is, with the audit, that's kind of designed to do that. I'm just wondering if there are any other like 101, like maybe books or just websites that you think, this is a good, just a foundational thing that I think everyone should be doing some of these. I came across one and it was really, really helpful for me, just in terms of, things that every web, like 20 questions that everyone should ask when they're looking at their own website. I don't know if you have anything like that.
So there was a book that I read some years ago that was like a huge, I'm in the industry, so for me it was like mind blowing. It was called the Conversion Code on Amazon. So that book has a lot of stuff that people can like take actionable steps tomorrow and roll out all these changes, and they'll see a major impact on their website. So yeah, the Conversion Code, that's called.
I'm sorry, what was it called?
The Conversion Code.
The Conversion Code. Oh, well, yeah. Awesome.
Fantastic book.
And so, Kurt, you just have a couple minutes left. So when, in terms of your background, like what were you doing prior to this? And then like, how did you decide that, what was the birth of Convertica?
So I was working in SEO for about 10 years before I got into conversion rate optimization. Noticed that it was a growing industry, and I was doing it already with my personality. It's part of my makeup anyway, to like use data to make decisions and make comparisons side by side. So I'd started getting demand for services for that. So I decided to start the company, and then since I started it, it grew very quickly from that launch. And it's a very, very quickly growing industry as the market starts to mature and as the internet starts to mature.
Well, it sounds like your offer is pretty compelling, because it's like, okay, let's say I give you $4,000. I sell my product at, $5,000 each. So if I can sell one more, right, then I'll ROI from even simple and, lower level engagement with you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a, for those who have budget, it's an instant ROI.
It's very clear. Yeah. We've made it in that way where it's like, here's the deliverables, here's the price, and here's the expectations on what we'll achieve. It's a great business, especially because I come from an SEO background, and the SEO used to be like that, but now SEO is not like that, because SEO it's much more difficult. So in this time frame, we can go over a 4, 5 month, 6 month campaign, and we can pretty much pick what sort of increases we'll have now. So it's really good business to be in. Yeah.
This is great. Kurt Phillip, your website, convertica.org. Obviously you can click on the free audit. What happens when someone fills that out and they submit it? Like, when do they get the report? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so generally to stop fraud, what will happen is we'll ask them, autoresponder will ask them to send a screenshot of their top 10 pages over the last 30 days from analytics, just a screenshot. And that proves they own the website. So then once we have that, we go through, and our team creates a manual audit. So they go through the whole website. They look at areas that, based on past tests that we've done, we can look through and go, look, this is areas we can see an increase in conversion, potential increase in conversions. We outline everything, absolutely everything in the audit. And then we have our pricing, and if we were to engage, what the pricing would be on that. So generally that takes around 48 hours max to do so.
Yeah, this is how talented I am. While we've been chatting, I already made the changes that you said. So, hey, listen, I am, but one thing I am is coachable. So yeah.
That's great.
So Kurt, this is fantastic. Your website, convertica.org. And again, you can grab your free audit right now. Anything else that folks should look for?
No, it's everything else on there. So if they go to the blog, I've got a bunch of other Twitter and LinkedIn links there too, if they want to. Just look, if you look for Kurt Phillip Convertica on Google, you can get all my links if you want to get in touch. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. Kurt Phillip, founder, CEO of Convertica, on the web at convertica.org. Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Josh.